Barry Gibb, the legendary figure behind the iconic Bee Gees, has just shattered the decades-long silence surrounding rumors about his wife. After over 50 years of marriage, Barry Gibb is finally opening up about his relationship with his wife, Linda Gray. Can you believe it's been over 5 decades since Barry Gibb married Linda Gray? That's a whole lot of memories, right? But what's been the secret behind Barry Gibb's enduring marriage with Linda Gray? Subscribe to the channel and be sure to stay tuned until the end, as we're about to unveil the precise details of the rumors that Barry Gibb has just confirmed regarding his wife. But before we get into the details, let's rewind to the beginning of Barry Allen Crompton Gibb's life. Born on September 1, 1946, at the Jane Crook Maternity Home in Douglas, Isle of Man, Barry's parents, Hugh and Barbara Gibb, were Manchester natives with a mix of English, Irish and Scottish roots. Now here's a cool fact. Barry's grandpa, Hugh Gibb Sr., hailed from Lanarkshire, Scotland. Born in 1892, he's part of the Gibb family tree. Barry also had an older sister, Leslie Evans. His second name, Alan, was a tribute to his dad's youngest brother, who unfortunately passed away as a little one. And the name Crompton, well, that's a nod to their ancestor, Sir Isaac Crompton or Samuel Crompton, at the time Barry came into the world. Back in the early days, Barry's dad was busy drumming at various hotels in Douglas while his mum held down the fort at home. They later moved to Chapel House on Strang Road. Now here's a twist in the tale. When Barry was almost 2 years old, a little mishap went down. Picture this. A hot teapot on the table, Barry climbing up and oops, the teapot went over and Barry got some serious burns. The poor guy ended up spending about 2.5 months in Noble's hospital. So let's talk about the hospital incident Barry himself remembered. He shared how after that unfortunate teapot incident, gangrene set in. Back then, medical tech wasn't as fancy as it is now, so no skin grafts for Barry. It was a rough time, and at one point he had only about 20 minutes left to live. Strangely, those 2 years in the hospital totally disappeared from his memory. He knows about the burns because of the scars, but he can't recall a single thing. Fast forward to 1949, the Gibb family moved to 50 St. Catherine's Drive. Later that year, Barry's younger brothers, Robin and Maurice, came into the world on December 22nd. When the twins were infants, the family moved again to Smedley Cottage in Spring Valley, still in Douglas. Now, let's dive into Barry's schooling. His educational journey started on September 4th, 1951, just 3 days after he turned 5, at Braddon School. The Gibb family didn't settle for too long. In 1955, they headed back to their roots in Manchester. This is where the musical magic began. The brothers kicked off their journey by forming the Rattlesnakes in 1955. Barry took on vocals and strummed the guitar while Robin, Maurice and pals Paul Frost and Kenny Hawkes lent their voices. They jammed to tunes by Cliff Richard, Paul Anka, Buddy Holly and the Everly Brothers. Barry remembers their debut tune as Paul Anka's I Love You Baby, although later he recalled it as the Everly Brothers' Wake Up Little Susie. The big break came on December 28, 1957, when the Rattlesnakes witnessed their first professional work at the Gaunt Cinema. And here's where the real fun begins in Barry Gibb's spectacular journey. When Barry, Maurice and Robin Gibb laid the groundwork for the Bee Gees, little did they know the heights of success awaiting them. After making the move from Manchester to Queensland, Australia, the trio experienced early chart triumph in 1966 with Spicks and Specks, a prelude to their eventual global stardom. In the same year, Barry tied the knot with Maureen Bates at the young age of 19. However, their union proved to be fleeting and they went their separate ways in July 1970. As the Bee Gees made their way back to the United Kingdom in early 1967, a significant turn in their story unfolded on February 24th. The group aced a live audition with Robert Stigwood, sealing their deal with the Robert Stigwood organisation on the very day Spicks and Specks hit the airwaves in the UK, thanks to Robert Stigwood. Jumping on board as the Bee Gees manager, Stigwood wasted no time making moves. he traveled to the United States to secure a record deal for them, leading to the addition of Colin Peterson as the drummer and Vince Maloney as the lead guitarist. This shift marked the creation of their debut international LP, Bee Gees' First. One of the standout tracks, To Love Somebody, showcased Gibb's compelling lead vocals and became a timeless classic covered by numerous artists over the years. In 1967, amidst the excitement, the Gibb brothers lent their harmonies as backing vocals on Cucumber Castle, a tune by Gibb and Robin, sung by artist Adam Faith. Now, let's talk about a night at the London Speakeasy Club in 1967, where Gibb found himself. Thanks to an arrangement by Pete Townsend, he was introduced to none other than John Lennon, still rocking his Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band outfit. A couple of Scotch and Cokes later, Townsend ushered Gibb over to Lennon's gathering, and their unconventional meeting marked the beginning of a surreal moment. Picture this: Gibb meeting John from the back, and Lennon's casual, "How you doing?" initiating an unexpected encounter with the Beatles legend. In 2010, Barry Gibb gave us a glimpse into the exclusive club scene where he had that unexpected encounter with John Lennon. Picture this secret entry system and the vibrant atmosphere of the place. Amidst their soaring fame, Barry and Robin faced personal and professional strain, leading to a collapse from nervous exhaustion on a flight from Australia to Turkey in 1967. The end of that year saw Barry and Robin departing from England, arriving in Australia on Christmas Day, completely skipping Christmas Eve due to the time difference. They celebrated the holiday with their manager Robert Stigwood's family and continued to Sydney. As 1967 drew to a close, fame's pressure took its toll, causing friction among the group members. Tensions brewed, leading to clashes over the band's musical direction at the onset of 1968, sparking studio and stage conflicts. To boost their album Horizontal, the Bee Gees made their debut on US television, gracing shows like The Smothers Brothers Show and The Ed Sullivan Show. They even filmed a TV special with Frankie Howerd. In 1968, Barry's composition Only One Woman soared to number 5 in the UK charts, marking a significant success. Amidst all this, leaked photos from an eventful Hollywood gathering surfaced, showing Barry playing guitar alongside members of Honey Limited. The Bee Gees album, May 1st, released in 1969, showcased Robin leading Lamplight on the flip side. Following Robin's solo plans, Barry ventured into songwriting and production for Samantha Sang, contributing songs like The Love of a Woman and Don't Let It Happen Again. His production prowess extended to P.P. Arnold's track Bury Me Down by the River, originally recorded by the Bee Gees for their 1970 album Odessa. Changes within the group surfaced as Peterson bid farewell in the summer of 1969, leaving Barry and Maurice as the remaining Bee Gees. Terry Cox of Pentangle filled Peterson's spot for another 12 songs, but only 5 made the album. The Bee Gees' film Cucumber Castle, initially featuring Peterson, aired on BBC Two on December 26, 1970. The band's announcement of their split in December 1969 prompted Barry to spend January 1970 crafting songs for the upcoming recording sessions. Within 2 months of parting ways with Moran, Barry found himself exchanging vows with Linda Gray in March 1970. Their love story began in 1967 when Barry encountered Linda, a former Miss Edinburgh, while filming Top of the Pops in London. Reflecting on their first meeting, Barry reminisced about the immediate connection that sparked when their eyes met. Their love story culminated in marriage on September 1, 1970, coinciding with Barry's 24th birthday. In the early months of 1970, Barry Gibb embarked on his own musical journey, crafting his first solo album titled The Kid's No Good. While he unveiled his debut solo single, I'll Kiss Your Memory, the remainder of the album's tracks unfortunately remained locked away, surfacing only in bootleg versions. Even though I'll Kiss Your Memory didn't make waves in the UK or the US charts, it managed to snag the 16th spot in the Netherlands within just 5 weeks. The album it belonged to, referred to by Bruce Eder of AllMusic for its country and sentimental tunes, became a bit of a mystery. Fans were left intrigued by its hidden repertoire. Fast forward to April of the same year, and the album Cucumber Castle emerged 4 months after the Bee Gees' breakup. Barry and Maurice took center stage while Robin pursued his solo career. Stepping into the solo performance realm, Barry made a judging panel appearance, delivering heartfelt renditions of One Bad Thing and The Day Your Eyes Meet Mine at the M-Teen Princess of the World pageant in Germany in June. Reflecting on the experience, he expressed a longing for the stage after a hiatus of over a year and 3 months, stating that he really missed people. In July, Barry journeyed to Australia as a compere for Go Set, sharing his thoughts in an interview. Despite the Bee Gees' split 16 months ago, he revealed he still shared a bond with his brothers, even if it wasn't in a musical group. One Bad Thing, considered for release as his debut album's second single, briefly appeared in August 1970, pressed by Atco Records with The Day Your Eyes Meet Mine on the flip side. Although it made its way to radio stations in Canada and beyond, its momentum faded, making room for a new Bee Gees release, particularly the Lonely Days reunion single. Even though plans to release One Bad Thing by October were in motion for areas except North America and Canada, Barry revealed that while focused on songwriting and recording, he still aspired to dive into acting, awaiting the right role to come along. One Bad Thing found its home with Ronnie Burns, an Australian singer who later released it as a single on Festival Records. New milestones in his personal life were on the horizon. All right, let's dive into Barry and Linda's family journey. In 1973, they hit a major milestone when they welcomed their first child, Stephen Crompton Gibb, into the world. Born in London and later raised in Miami, Stephen initially dipped his toes into piano, but eventually gravitated towards the guitar. He made a name for himself in various hard rock and metal bands, including notable ones like 58, Black Label Society, and Crowbar. Fast forward to 1977, and Barry and Linda's second bundle of joy, Ashley Robert Crompton Gibb, entered the scene on September 8th. Following in his father and elder brother's musical footsteps, Ashley pursued a career in music. Linda chose the name Ashley, showing enduring affection, and Robert paid tribute to the Australian-British entrepreneur Robert Stigwood. Their family journey was intertwined with music, creating a harmonious blend of love and creativity. In 1981, the Gibb family grew again as Barry and Linda welcomed their third son, Travis Gibb, on January 10th in Florida. Moving ahead to 1984, the household expanded once more with the arrival of their fourth son, Michael Gibb. Interestingly, Michael shares a birthday with his elder brother Stephen, who was born on December 1st. Fun fact, he was named after the legendary Michael Jackson, who held the role of his godfather and was a close friend of the Gibb family. Michael Gibb ventured into the realm of acting, accumulating a total of 6 acting credits. Now let's talk about 1991, when Barry and Linda celebrated the birth of their first daughter, Alexandra Gibb, on December 29th. In 2002, the family tree blossomed further as Stephen, the couple's first son, welcomed their first grandchild, Na. Shortly after, in 2003, Ashley, Barry and Linda's second son welcomed Lucas John Crompton, expanding the grandchildren count to 7. All right, let's rewind to the 70s. A time of Bee Gees' resurgence. In August 1970, they reunited and gave us chart toppers like Lonely Days and How Can You Mend a Broken Heart. Barry Gibb's solo singles like One Bad Thing and The Day Your Eyes Meet Mine took a back seat as the Bee Gees regained their unity. Fast forward to a year later, and their track How Can You Mend a Broken Heart soared as their first American #1 hit. Gibb's commitment to the group stayed strong, leading to the release of the album To Whom It May Concern. This marked the end of an era at IBC Studios and their collaboration with arranger Bill Shepherd. Now, A creative chapter that started in 1964 was evolving, prompting Gibb and the Bee Gees to relocate to Los Angeles in 1972 and kick off sessions at Record Plant Studio. In 1975, guided by Eric Clapton's suggestion, they shifted to Criteria Studios in Miami, shaping their innovative album under R&B producer Arif Mardin's guidance. This era introduced Gibb's falsetto debut in Nights on Broadway, bringing a fresh dimension to their musical repertoire. In 1976, Gibb penned I Just Want to Be Your Everything, launching his brother Andy Gibb's career to US #1 status. As collaborations and unwritten tracks flowed, Gibb's creative energy surged. He co-wrote Emotion for Samantha Sang, a timeless hit resonating to this day. The late 70s delivered a golden era with a string of #1 hits in the US, solidifying Gibb's standing as a prolific songwriter. His influence extended to Grease, the title track for Robert Stigwood's film and stage musical. In the recording industry, Gibb's involvement soared, evident in his background vocals for Ain't Nothing Gonna Keep Me From You, featuring Terry Dario's vocals. After the Triumphant Spirits having flown tour in 1979, Gibb dedicated his talents to his brother Andy Gibb's final album, After Dark. In 1980, Gibb ventured into music production, spearheading tracks for Andy Gibb's compilation album. Meanwhile, the monumental release of Barbra Streisand's Guilty showcased Gibb's production imprint, with the lead single Woman in Love topping the US charts within 5 weeks. The album included captivating vocal duets like Guilty and What Kind of Fool, claiming the #1 spot on the US Adult Contemporary chart. The Bee Gees' 1981 release, Living Eyes, marked a shift in musical direction, departing from their signature disco sound. Although it didn't achieve commercial triumph, Gibb stepped into the producer's role once more, creating music for Dionne Warwick's album, Heartbreaker. In August 1983, Gibb collaborated with Kenny Rogers, crafting the initial demo for Eyes That See in the Dark. Concurrently, Robin immersed himself in creating his album, How Old Are You?, with Maurice providing instrumental accompaniment. This period witnessed the creation of several tracks intended for Rogers, conceived in late 1982 and recorded as demos through early 1983. Alright, let's zoom into the 80s and beyond, where Barry Gibb's musical journey was still kicking into high gear. In 1983, amidst all the studio hustle and Bee Gees' commitments for staying alive, Barry sealed a deal with MCA Records for North America, marking the start of a multi-album venture worth millions. September 1984 saw the release of his album Now Voyager, spinning off singles like Shine Shine, securing a spot in the US Top 40 and cruising up the adult contemporary charts. The creative collaborations didn't stop there. In 1985, Gibb contributed to Diana Ross's album Eaten Alive and co-wrote tracks for Robin Gibb's Walls Have Eyes. Then in 1988, his third album, Moonlight Madness, dropped after being shelved for a while. As the late 80s unfolded, the Bee Gees reunited to record their first album in 6 years. Meanwhile, Barry and Maurice produced 4 new songs for Andy Gibb, including Arrow Through the Heart. Gibb's songwriting prowess extended to collaborations with Elton John, crafting Up the Revolution. Entering the 2000s, he co-wrote I Cannot Give You My Love for Cliff Richard. The Bee Gees briefly reconvened in 2001 for Islands in the Stream, marking their final session as a group. Tragedy struck in 2003 with the passing of Maurice, leading Barry to take up production duties and contribute to Cliff Richard's songs. In 2004, Barry and Robin received the CBE Award and collaborated on various charity singles dedicated to tsunami victims. The years that followed showcased Gibb's diverse musical pursuits, from producing songs for Barbra Streisand's album to a solo concert debut in the US. By 2010, Gibb stepped back from planned musical appearances, but kept releasing tracks like Grey Ghost and Daddy's Little Girl. His musical legacy expanded with performances at charity events, advocacy for musicians' rights, and collaborations across the industry. Launching his solo career in 2012, Gibb debuted at the Grand Ole Opry alongside Ricky Skaggs. The Mythology Tour in 2013 took him across Australia, where he enthralled audiences with the Bee Gees' anthology set album. His live performances sparked a flurry of releases, including a box set of the Bee Gees' Australian albums and a best-of collection, Morning of My Life. Gibb's appearances at renowned venues like the Country Music Hall of Fame and the Grand Ole Opry grabbed attention. He even made a surprise appearance on Saturday Night Live alongside Jimmy Fallon, Justin Timberlake, Madonna, and Sir Paul McCartney. All right, it's time for today's big reveal. Now, we all know that Barry and Linda have been super loyal to each other for 50 years. However, there's this separate story floating around, Barry Gibb confirming rumors about his wife. Here's the twist. Some people claim he's been having affairs with women who bear an uncanny resemblance to Linda. Weird, right? Now, there's no concrete proof backing up these rumors, but you know how rumors go. They can be pretty persistent. What do you think? Is there any truth to these speculations, or are they just some wild tales making the rounds? Interviews with CNN and Mirror provided glimpses into Gibb's journey, sharing insights about his brothers, reflecting on Robin's passing, and acknowledging the support he found in his wife Linda. Returning to the Glastonbury Festival in 2017 for the Legend spot, Gibb continued to captivate audiences, adding another legendary performance to his repertoire. Barry Gibb attributes his resilience against substances and addiction to his wife, emphasizing her steadfast resolve. Reflecting on the challenges, he stated, "My brothers faced their demons, but I was married to a lady who wouldn't have it." Describing how she safeguarded him, Gibb noted, "I could bring drugs home, but she'd flush them down the toilet. She never allowed me to head in that direction, and I consider myself fortunate." Coping with losses, including his brothers, Gibb learned that life keeps moving, and he moves along with it. Transitioning to a solo career after losing his brothers, Gibb revealed his wife's allure, mentioning how even actor Steve McQueen tried to whisk her away on his motorbike. Despite numerous opportunities, their commitment to each other prevailed, resulting in a deeply rewarding and beautiful life together. Barry Gibb's decision to confirm the rumors about his wife after 50 years adds a human touch to the larger-than-life persona we associate with music legends. The interview serves as a reminder that behind every iconic figure is a personal journey filled with love, challenges, and triumphs. As fans, we can only appreciate and celebrate the enduring love story of Barry and Linda Gibb, a testament to the power of love in the face of fame. What are your thoughts on this revelation? Share them in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on your favorite celebrities.